All right, all right. What is up, everybody? The long awaited show we've been waiting for. All right, we're going to be with you with another episode of the GSD with a student spotlight. We have an amazing one for you guys today. You can see the two gentlemen here on stage. I'll let them introduce themselves in just a minute. So if you are here live, hashtag live. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay. You guys know the drill. Now, if this is the first time you are meeting us, my name's Rahul, and then Cody is
Right
that
here.
guy. Yep, the white guy, the brown guy. Now you know the difference. What we do is we help agency owners, marketers, consultants, even salespeople build their business. We do it brick by brick, and we're going to be talking about a story like that today. So meet our guests. We got Shan Johnson, Matt Hart in the house. They have an amazing home services businesses, and we're going to kind of go through like how they had progressed, not just with us, but before us, and how we've been doing so far. So why don't you guys introduce yourself? I'll start with you, Shan.
Yep, I'm Shan Johnson. I'm a third generation contractor and owned a contracting company for quite a few years and decided to exit that in 2019 in the fourth quarter. And in Q1 of 2020, started a consulting company where I started coaching contractors.
Awesome. And Matt.
Cool, Matt Hart. I'm a first generation contractor. And by contractor, I mean I learned how to sell things and luckily got to do that for Shan's contracting company. Ended up being a sales manager, and he exited and got to go hang out on a beach. And I got to keep working. But luckily, we joined back up a few years later.
Awesome. So what got you guys going from like being the doers, like being the business owners of a contracting company and flipping over to the consulting side of the space?
For me, it kind of started in 2018. We'd seen some pretty decent success, and we started going to industry events and meeting lots of other great builders. And, they would ask questions, hey, how are you guys doing this? And oh my gosh, you mind if I pick your brain? We're not really competitors, we're halfway across the country, that kind of thing. And strangely enough, at some point in 2018, we started flying them into our contracting company, and owners of other companies throughout the country would fly in and just see our operations. And sometimes they'd bring their scheduler with them, and their schedule would sit with our scheduler, and then their owner would sit with me. Or sometimes they would bring their sales team and they'd go over to Matt, and Matt would be training, a handful of them at a time. And in 2019, that kind of grew a lot. And so in the end, Matt came to me and was like, Shannon, I know you love training, but at some point you might want to actually charge for this. And so we didn't charge any of those people. I mean, they paid for their own flights and stuff, but we never sent them an invoice, and they never paid us for anything we did for them. So anyway, I ended up finding a lot of joy in that. And again, as a third generation contractor, my last living relative that was in construction passed, and basically I was the only person out of 7 of us in my family that owned a contracting company that actually exited with a golden parachute. Everyone else needed Social Security when they were done. So anyway, I just got really, really passionate about helping good, small, mid-sized contractors become profitable. And that's our mission now. We make construction profitable.
I love that, because a lot of people, when they start their new business and their coaching program, they're doing free stuff anyways. I mean, you were already doing it because you had the backbone of your business and sharing that story anyways. So you kind of got the ability and the willingness to even want to pursue this by Matt's motivation too, because he saw the market opportunity of possibly even wearing underwear on the bottom and shirts on top, right? Behind the desk, you can train and coach people. And the cool part about what you guys do and what we do is that it's remote. Your market share may be like narrowed in a certain geography, but shit, this thing could be in Ireland right now too, right?
Yeah, I did. I spent 2 years traveling. I spent 16 months during COVID traveling the state. We went to 33 states with my young family. And then last year in 2022, we jumped the pond and we were in Europe all year. So, and I kept my coaching business. I just did it in the middle of the night. And I went to bed when the sun came up, and, my clients didn't, some of them knew I was traveling, but others of them didn't need to know, So anyway, yeah, we definitely did that for sure.
Yeah. Now, I want to just kind of address the elephant in the room of the topic. I wrote that we have like $1 million and we're 2 months in, and we weren't expected to even start sales till March.
Right.
And we're not even through half the day of March of the first day.
Right.
Now, let's kind of back up for a second. So I want everybody to pay close attention to this area here, because this is important, because this is how business actually works. And a lot of you guys are either at this level, maybe below, just getting started, and something for everybody in this interview. So I promise you that through the questions we have planned here. So you came across us at some point. I don't know how or why, and then we connected. What was your motivation or reasoning to even consider coaching in general in the first place?
Well, we had seen an interview you guys did through another marketer that I was involved with, but we saw like a spotlight that you guys did with them, where you kind of just talked about your little twist. And I think it was Cody, and he was on there, and he was talking about pitching and sales and offering and packaging your program differently, and really doing things differently than what everyone else was saying. Everyone else has they all have their one thing, everyone else is saying everything else, but your guys' take was kind of the opposite, and we've learned that to be true in nearly all things. Is you kind of want to go the opposite of the crowd is where the opportunity is. But anyway, I just really got into his whole attitude, and he cussed a couple times, which fit in real well with us contractors, and put us at ease a little bit, and anyway, so that's really kind of how it started.
So you watched
Yeah.
a student spotlight video, and now here we are on a student spotlight video. I love when that happens. So you bought into it for a success story, and you became the next one. So that's a beautiful circle. I like it.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we may be unique in the coaching space, so we're doing something opposite by actually getting the clients the result they deserve, right? So no knock against other coaches, just throwing that out there for all you guys in the audience. And yes, I said it. Take it to your current coach. Come over to our side. Anyways, so now we jumped in. You, me, Jason got to collaborate and with you and Matt, and then we got to work. And you guys moved at like a fast pace, because I know Matt is like itching and saying like, hey, let's get this thing rocking, let's get more clients. And then Shan, you're the backbone, the spine of the business, to make sure your perfectionism doesn't create as big of a bottleneck, because we didn't expect some of these results this quickly. Now, you guys, what was your first move? Because I'm reading your notes that you sent to me, which are fantastic, by the way. These are awesome. I was like blown away when I read your email. You guys had about 7 different products. Like, where did you start when you just got into the GSD? What was the first move?
You want to?
Yeah, let me take this one. So yeah, like you said, we had seven different products. That wasn't good. That was something that we thought was good, but ended up being really problematic. We didn't have really any clarity on really what we were selling and how we were selling it. We knew we could do a bunch of different things. And we're great salespeople, but we did not have the right context or the right format to kind of put it all together. So that was really the trigger for us, I think, really moving forward with you guys right at the beginning. Was we knew we had something special, but we didn't really know how to execute on it. And we didn't want to waste any time trying to figure it out ourselves. We could have spent 24 months trying to get it, and wasted a lot of business in the process. So yeah, that's really where we started. It was consolidating the 7, getting rid of the worst of the 7, kind of combining them, and not to jump the gun or give away secret sauce stuff, but the scary offer is really probably the first and foremost thing that we spent a lot of time on.
Like, basically, like how long did it take you to get the offer down? Because you mentioned it could take 24 months. Like, how long did it take you to get this dialed in with that scary offer that Cody walked you guys through?
I would say that it took, I don't know, Shane, I would say less than 10 days, but that was with us still running our business. It's not like we sat down and committed every hour of every day to figuring it out. But I would say we had it pretty well tuned in about 10 days.
Amazing. Like, now, what did that do for like the discovery process to the sales call, like, process that you currently had or you previously had?
I mean, it totally changed everything in a good way, and it's simplified everything. Our pitch deck, which I thought was good, was complete trash. because it was trying to sell 4 different things. And one of the things was really complicated. So it was like, if we got to the 4th thing, it's like, hold on to your hats. We got another 45 minutes here. It was not good. And so what the scary offer did was really allow us to simplify the pitch, spend way more time on actual discovery, because it was kind of like, well, end of the day, our product is the product, the offer is the offer. It's either a good fit or it's not. And so it made it a lot easier for us to prospect, discover, and then really present something that made sense. And then, of course, the sales results followed pretty quickly and dramatically.
Right. So then repackaging and simplifying the product line that you're going to offer helped reduce the call time, made it clearer for people to buy. Like, how did it impact the way you priced the product? Like, where did you have it and where did you change it to?
Honestly, man, it was so convoluted before we consolidated everything that I don't actually remember, because it was like 4 different things with 4 different price, and each of the 4 different things had like a different tier package on it. Christ, it was. I couldn't really. I don't. Shane, do you have an answer?
I do, because the closest we had is we had a client that was bulked in, our friend Peter, right? And so Peter was on a $3,000 a month package. And basically the package we offer now is, I think, the exact same, right? But the package now is 5,000. And technically there's one little thing that Peter's not getting, but honestly, I would give him that. We just didn't have it. It just wasn't, we didn't have it back when he signed his original agreement. But now everybody gets it. But yeah, so that's what it did. We went from 3 to 5,000.
I would ask,
Right.
because I think that's so interesting, right? Look, as a salesperson, Matt, how much easier was it to sell that $5,000 a month product because of the clarity and the simplicity of the offer, compared to a lower priced product that some people might actually think would be easier just because it's cheaper?
Man, it's so much easier to sell the big chunk. It's crazy. I was slightly intimidated at first, just a fear-based mindset for no reason. But man, it was so much easier. I mean, our closing percentage is stupid right now. I mean, if they're a real prospect in our niche, I mean, we're probably closing at like 80%. I'm not something like that.
And Matt, let me jump in for 2 seconds. This, just so everybody that is watching the replay or on the live understands how human we really are and how flawed we were going into GSD. Matt, you and I have not had this conversation because, quite honestly, I don't think we could look each other in the eye. But how many in a row did we lose before we signed with GSD? How many in a row did we lose? We haven't had this conversation. We were both ashamed and we didn't want to talk about it.
Look, as a sales guy, my ego would like to answer by saying that we had great follow-up opportunities. But yeah, the truth is that nothing ever came of this follow-up. So yeah, it was a handful. We had some really hot leads, and we were wasting these hot leads with a really shitty approach.
And these are leads that we actually had met at a trade conference where we actually talked to them and had great conversations, and then we gave them our pitch, and then it just goes down. Anyway, yeah.
Now it's the opposite. To get back to what you said, though, Cody, way easier to sell when it's chunked together, higher price point, and the people that aren't pulling the trigger, they're apologizing almost. I don't know if you saw that last message we got, Shane, but
I did see
basically apologizing that they can't afford it quite yet and that they want to reconnect with us in a couple months. So it's shockingly more easy to sell.
Yeah, and of course, when we slow down a little, we'll meet them where they are, and we'll clean that up, and we'll pick them up at a place where they are that makes sense for them. Yeah. But right now, we're closing at such a high clip for the full ticket, and we've got growth problems that we need to solve those before we go clean up, the meet them where they are. But I know that's one of you guys' teachings, and we believe in that too, and we will be making that happen. We're gonna make some adjustments first.
Yeah, because my anticipation is Matt's not gonna slow down. Because when he comes on one of my calls, I'm just going to tell him extend the onboarding process and Shan can deal with the consequences.
He's a big boy, so he can take care of himself. Yeah. I've heard that. Mhm.
He travels too much. He went to Hawaii for a little bit too long in his
That's right.
in
Yeah.
retirement.
He needs to take less vacations. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go into the first month. So we're in month one of GSD. What happened on the outcome? Let's go to day 30, first month. Like you guys sold how many packages, how much revenue did that bring for like in a cash in surge?
I've got that data and I'm just looking at my screen for.
Yeah,
so
the
we
reason I want to
collect-
ask these like intimate based questions about like the reality of
Mhm.
it is like this is how quick for the audience out you guys out there, how quick things can happen when you work with us. Okay.
Yeah.
We make it predictable, we make it like fun, we joke, we're people, we're flawed, but our company name gets worn every day for a reason because one thing we can't not do and we always do is get shit done.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty simple. Like I said, we were trying not to sell. We knew we had to fix a bunch of stuff, and we, in spite of ourselves, we actually sold three $360,000 programs in our first month.
And that's you trying not to sell.
Yeah. We didn't want to turn down when people said they wanted meeting. We didn't want to turn that down, but we were not actively going for people. We weren't outreaching at all.
No, yeah, $180,000, not a bad not selling or not trying month.
Yeah.
So
And again,
congrats.
that's annualized, over the contract. It's 5,000 a month, but again,
Yeah.
bringing in 15,000 cash, within a couple of weeks of joining you guys,
Right.
certainly didn't
And
lower our faith in the process.
yeah, I mean those early wins and kind of just the way you guys move, I got to give you guys a compliment. Not only like your relationship, like Matt to you, Shan, and Shan to Matt is similar to me and Cody, right? So I think we see a lot in common there. But you guys the story gets even better because I'm looking at your notes from month number 2, and it doesn't stop at 60,000. It just keeps going. How did month number 2 go?
Yeah, we sold another 3 coaching programs, and that's our standard program that we've been talking about. But then we sold our first, like what we would call Coaching Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And a Coaching Plus program is, part of our package is leads and everything. But a Coaching Plus is when we get a contractor that's actually a pretty nice, well-established contractor. And sure, they need us. They need our coaching and our systems and everything else we offer. But they're a nice size organization. They also want a bunch more leads than the standard, than our perfect normal avatar is. So anyway, they ramp up really high with us with marketing pretty quick. So that client is estimated to be between $120,000 and $150,000 revenue for 2023. That's what they'll spend with us for the last 10 months of the year.
And was that an existing client or a new client?
No, that was a new one.
A new one? Okay. And then I see another note that you had sent me. There was an existing client that also went to this Coaching Plus, the 120K upgrade.
I had an existing client that was on a very small foot in the door thing with $350 a month is all they were. And they've been a client for years, but $350 a month. And we upgraded them to the Coaching Plus, and the upgrade is obviously 120K plus this year for them also.
So it's possible, right? To go
from so they went to 10,000 a month.
$350 a month to 10,000 a month. So hey, people out there, it's possible. That's why we talk about foot in the door so much is get the trust of the client. Once you have the trust of the client, then they believe in you and they believe you're doing good work for them. And then they'll open up their hearts, their souls, and you'll be their trusted advisor, probably the most important vendor they ever get, because you guys are marketers. You guys, whether you know it or not, if you're a marketer, a coach, a salesperson, what we do is we change people's lives. We're the most important people in the room because we make revenue move, and we take care of their earnings so they can earn for their families, send their kids to colleges. So it's a lot of domino effect impact. Now, we've went over a lot of money stuff, all this stuff. If you guys are doing calculations and you guys have a calculator watch on or whatever it is you're doing, we're looking at, if we had 0 sales, like right now, we cut the head off of this and said, fuck that, I'm not going to sell a thing. I know that you guys can't do that because like in your non-selling month, you guys got too much money in, sold $560,000 or $360,000 packages. Like what would that do for you if the end of the year just came up and you didn't fire one of your clients?
Yeah, I mean, I did some math earlier, so I just want to make sure that off the top of my head, it's good. But I mean, it looks like There it goes. Yeah, we're going to hit $1 million if we don't sell anything for the next 10 months. We'll hit $1 million this year for sure.
Congrats.
Yeah,
That's
thanks.
amazing.
We did 325 last year, which was good, but we were selling a lot of one-off products and a lot of, we're only doing this one thing for this one client. We're not doing it for anyone else. We're doing this one high intensity special project for this client. It was, milking a lot of people on and we were doing all that stuff, and we streamlined that. We basically fired those clients and went to we made some adjustments anyway, and then we rolled this program out. So anyway, so even just counting that, we're still triple where we were last year, but really so much more than that.
2 months into the 2 months into the year, and already tripling the entirety of last year's revenues. Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad. Definitely not bad. So, yeah, Matt and I are used to growth. We used to grow our contracting service ridiculously, and we are hoping not to grow like we did, but sometimes you can't help yourself when stuff starts falling and the system is dialed in.
What a humble dude.
It gets fun again. What's that?
I said, what a humble dude.
Was it?
We don't like this.
In a good way.
I'll have to watch the replay.
Yeah. So now we talked about like what's possible, revenue guys. Like anybody out there has the same possibility. It takes certainty, it takes clarity, right? Now there's obviously work along the way. So there's outside of just the sales benefits. Like what are the kind of like the in between the lines, like little shifts and pivots that it helped you?
Yeah. I have a couple that come to mind. So one quick little thing that was just like really easy, your sales approach that you make available in the repository. I was like, man, I just feel like I'm in a rut. I'm a sales guy doing my sales thing. I need some more juice. I opened that thing up and I want to say I read it. I'm a really good reader. Okay. So like it probably didn't sound like I was reading, but I basically read this thing live for pretty much the first time. We got a deal closed. And then my man Shan over here starts just raving about how I'm such a great sales guy. And I was like, yes, I am. Thank you very much.
No, I didn't realize. I actually skipped those modules. You guys' program is so thick that I had to concentrate on my part and let Matt handle his part. So I skipped all those. So I didn't realize that had come from you guys.
That was a simple one. And then the other thing is kind of at the beginning of this process, like I said, I was kind of in a sales rut. I felt, I put in all this work to generate these leads and they just weren't converting. And I got it into this like fear-based mindset of like, fuck, I only have like 20 of my Glenn Ross leads and I'm fucking them up and I'm scared to call them. And I'm out of nowhere. Like all of a sudden I forgot everything I ever learned about how to be a good, sales guy. And then just getting on these calls and having everyone at first I was like, God, everyone really wears this GSD shirt. I'm like, cool, but now when I see the shirt, I'm like, all right, let's fucking go. Like, I get to hear all these other people who like my ego, the first time I got on one of these calls, I was like, I'm a better sales guy than these people, but they're the ones making the calls. So what does that say about me? So pretty quickly, just like the mindset of the group snapped me out of my own bullshit. And then next thing you know, like we're just popping off sales left and right. So those are two little things that come to my mind.
That's important. Mindset is everything, right? I mean, like a baseball player going into a slump. If your mind says you suck, you'll suck. If your mind says I can get out of this, you'll get the fuck out of it fast. So I'm glad you mentioned that because that's something that a lot of people don't talk about, but that's what the community is for. And that's what we actually get mad at everybody in the GSD if they don't talk to us enough. Like we actually want to hear about everything, the lives, the problems, the children, the wins, everything. It's just important to us because that's how we're gonna rise together. Because we're not a pay us and then you show up and whatnot. We want to kick your ass along the way because that's what we're paid to do. So some of the other benefits that you guys have, like you mentioned something about like the way you accept payments.
I've got a few more than Matt. I've got my list written down. I wanted to see what would come off the top of his head. But yeah, our payments, like we're on auto debit with those clients, and again, we work with contractors. Contractors are they kind of get around to paying an invoice whenever they feel like it. Like pretty much if it's a rainy day outside, they might decide to pay some invoices. But if they can be working, that's where they are, right? And so I understand that, having been on the other side of that for a long time. So anyway, being on auto debit is a big deal for us. Again, maybe not if you guys are taking care of dentists and lawyers and white collar people, but but for anybody that's not, that's kind of a real big deal. So some of the other stuff is like we collect, when they say we're ready to go at the end of the call, we collect the credit card right then. Oh, great. You're ready to go. Great. Which card do you want to put that on? And again, we learned that from you guys, and we'd never thought to do that. And it sounds, when I say it like that, I know it sounds pushy or whatnot, but when you get into the program and understand it, it's the smoothest, easiest transition. And honestly, you're doing them a favor because they don't want to put this away and then tomorrow catch some email in between 6 other phone calls they have to do and then pay this invoice and figure all this out. Great. I can pull it out and pay you right now. It just saves them one more thing to do. So it's really something we do for them, but obviously it helps us because no more false starts, because getting a yes is one thing, but implementation, that's obviously what we're really after. And then a couple other things, like we refined really early, like day one stuff. We started refining our perfect avatar and who we actually wanted to sell to, and getting some of that thought process and some of those juices flowing from you guys. And again, this is the kind of thing Matt and I've been good at in the past, right? But this world of digital marketing, it's different than our specialty. Like, great, we're experts to our clients in their world. We're not experts in the digital marketing space, right? We're still learning, and we're the new guys out there. So refining our perfect avatar and deciding who we want to work with has been huge for us, because now we are going out and finding them where they are and able to have real conversations, and we're not trying to cast a wide net. We get out the sniper rifle and go for one shot and done kind of thing. And so the other thing we do have done was we really have, and Matt's done most of this work, but we've done a lot of adjusting with our program to model a little bit closer to GSD with more plan changes as we scale, meaning that I do have a very high impact, like one-on-one part of our coaching. And I do a lot of that for the value that we give. And that's what we want to do early on, because we're still dialing in our process and dialing in our systems and creating modules and making it repeatable, and creating videos that can serve future clients and things like that. We're still doing all that. But in the meantime, we're doing a lot of one-on-one to create that material. But as we scale, we want to pull it out a lot more like GSD is, to where you've got your calls, on this day, and it's for this topic. And like Matt already does Thursday sales call, where he gets on our Facebook group. Our clients jump on and he sales trains. He picks a topic for 30, 40 minutes, and then he does Q&A for 20 minutes to an hour, depending on how busy it is. And these guys are getting in real-time information and getting their questions asked and unlocking their sales guys. And it's just, the feedback's been really, really great so far. And again, that program's only a month old, and we already have a decent enough following to where it's been nice.
Yeah, I mean, that blueprint helps having that in advance versus kind of figuring it out on your own. But that's amazing to be able to, that's what we pride ourselves on, and what you guys are now doing too, is when I get people saying, I have a call in 15 minutes, here's a scenario, what do I say? And I have to give them their script on the spot. And then some people are like, dude, fucking close, that was brilliant. And I'm thinking I know. I know. I already knew it worked. Already knew it worked before I even met you. But and then other people just need a little bit more polishing, and that's where the rehearsal, the role play, the sales engagement, and also being proud to be vulnerable too, because it is uncomfortable going into a group of people that you haven't met yet and saying, hey, pitch me. So I feel like we're pretty good, but you're going to be able to tell me the right answer. I feel like we're pretty good at making everybody feel welcome, comfortable, and at home.
Yeah.
I was amazed at how good you are at getting pulling the vulnerability out of people. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to be coached to be successful, you got to be real. You got to be authentic with yourself. You can't be lying to yourself if you want to get better. And you guys are really, not trying to boost your egos too much, but you guys are both really, really good at getting real with people in such a way that it also, you're being real with one person, but you have the ability to make that realness benefit everyone else in the room as well, which I have found quite helpful.
Yeah, and
Appreciate
I'd like to add to that, because like Matt and I are a lot like you guys, you know, in terms of what we do and kind of how we devise our roles, like you guys do. And so there's a lot of similarities there. But I've seen you guys coaching people, and people raise their hand and they ask their question, and you're answering, you know, soccer moms who are, you know, English as second language, and they're part-time, you know, they've got 8 hours a week for their agency that they're trying to build for their family. And so they're just at a completely different level. And to watch you guys be able to just downshift right into speaking, you know, soccer moms speak and part-timers speak, you know, and have such a huge impact on people. You know, not everyone in the program is, you know, blowing, going, hoping to build a 8-figure industry. You know, some of these people are, you know, just trying to get a good quality of life and just trying to build something for their families. And man, you guys do a great job for those guys too.
I appreciate that. Now, like, let's just say, like, if we can backdate our decision to join the GSD, like, if you didn't join, what do you think things would look like for you?
Oh man, that's a lot of pain. Matt will say something clever and funny, and I would just probably cry.
I don't know if Shane and I would still be working together. We were in a tough spot, man. We were in a spot where it was like, we had been doing this for a while, and we both have small kids, and it was kind of like put up or shut up time. Like, we gotta make this fucking thing work. Like, there's not an infinite timeline on us being successful. You know, we both knew that we could eventually get where we wanted to be, but we also both knew that we had a finite amount of time to be willing to do that, you know, for multiple reasons.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, like you guys really felt like a lifeline in those days once we joined up, especially like once the scary offer, like the second I had that one like aha moment, I was like, oh shit, this is going to make all the difference. So yeah, man, I really don't want to think about what it would have been like if we hadn't decided. And it was not the easiest decision for us. It may have seemed like it on your end, but we internally talked about that decision a lot, and very, very, very glad we made the decision we did.
Yeah, we're just like everyone else. We've paid this guy or that guy or this program or that program, and we've invested in our company, and you know, a lot more misses than hits. You know, we were just coming fresh off of a nice investment we had in November, which ended up netting us, you know, very, very little. In fact, I think it was none. And so anyway, it was just one of those things. You know, it's so easy to be perfect on an infomercial. You know, it's so easy to have a 2.5 minute YouTube video of how great your program is. And then you guys are great salespeople. You know, I know, you know, Raul gets all the credit for that, but Cody's a phenomenal salesperson himself. And so and we're salespeople, so we like to be sold, right? We love to be sold by professionals, you know? So anyway, so yeah, I mean, there's some pain of wondering if, you know, do we just like getting sold, or are we not putting in our end of the work, or have we just been unlucky with not finding the right fit or the right team? So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to see like this short journey. I mean, I feel like because of our similar personalities, it seems like we've known each other much longer than we actually have, because it's only been a couple months. But just to see the written plan of like, the goal was build assets in January, test things out if this is going to work in February, then start selling in March, and then scale from there. Now that plan kind of got destroyed and imploded, and saying it's all proven in 10 days, let's sell January, February, March. Like, I don't know what March is going to look like for you, but when Matt hops on my Tuesday call and Thursday calls, I'm going to tell him secretly, but now you're going to hear it live, just put a waiting list together and take deposits. And that'll get Shan to hurry up.
Yeah, Shan will figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I do to Cody. I'm like, hey, we're at capacity, meaning we're at 150% for our agency side of things. And I'm like, cool, I'll just get a few more. Yeah. So I still have that burning hunger and desire like you guys do. Anyways, so like there's a lot of people that are are making decisions every day. They're making good decisions and they're making regretful non-decisions. If somebody were on the fence, like not only just to pick up the phone or hit the DM and message us to see what's even possible for their lives, but also make those decisions for their own families because they're impacting a generation below them too. Like, what do you say to those people that are on the fence? They've been burned by somebody else. They've paid another mentor and they're in another program, not getting what they want, wasting their time and their money at the same time. They're fearful of, am I even good enough? But I still have goals. They're dream chasers and not dream catchers. What do you say to that person?
I'll go first. I would say that take the jump, knowing that you found some coaches that actually give a shit. I've been really impressed by your level of commitment and interest and investment in the individuals that I've seen on your calls. I feel like that's something that probably a lot of people are afraid of. You make this choice and you want to feel validated in that financial commitment that you made, and then you end up with some people that don't really care, and now you feel like a moron because you didn't make the right call with the right people. So I would just tell anyone that's thinking, like, these are the right people. These two guys actually really give a shit about your success and your business, which is crazy because it's like I just met these people on the internet, but they're the real deal. They're really authentic, and that makes all the difference when it comes to being great at anything.
I would add that that it can be intimidating when you watch some of these videos and, oh, that guy built a company like this and that guy built a company this big. And I've seen a couple of your guys's student videos that are way multiples of what we were talking about we've achieved so far. We're not done yet either, but what I would say to somebody sitting there on the fence is just like, one of the things about Raul and Cody that's so good and the way they got their program structured is they're really good at meeting people where they are. And it's not like you have to fit in this box. It's that you are whatever shape you are, and let them come in and adjust their shape to be your shape, and then get you and put you into the shape you want to be at in the future. These guys are really good at getting inside your business and understanding exactly where you are and what you need in the right order. It will shock you. Just an hour with them would shock you of how well they understand your business at the end of that, and that their advice you would just implement.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I mean, that means like the feedback loops, like this conversation's been fun, and I know we're talking about success and all that kind of stuff, but like the feedback loops allow us, even just hearing you guys, because some of the answers we don't even know that they're going to be. And some of the questions we asked, we didn't know we were going to ask, but just getting that feedback loop just makes me think ahead, like, hey, now I know what's next for you two specifically. Right. So it's kind of nice to have that transparency. But like these guys said, like, we're always thinking and serving our clients, right? They're the reason for us. So we're going to serve them at our highest capacity. If the way Cody and I think is like, one of us is going to stay up for 36 hours straight and just get shit done. The other one can take a little rest. Like, that's just our mentality. Just do what it takes for the people that we brought into the program. Because like, I don't know if this is a military quote or wherever the fuck it came from, that person gets the credit, but we just look at it as like no man or woman or otherwise left behind. And that's just the way our brains are totally wired. And that's what our mission, our vision, and that's why people may not think we change, but we have like 20 of these each, just as an FYI. We do change.
That one looks brand new. So
yeah, this one's like, this is the culture. Yeah, like this is truly our mission, our vision, a culture, and that's why we call it Get Shit Done. Like Nike has Just Do It. This is our movement. So I appreciate you guys sharing your story with everybody. Hopefully it inspires people. If you're out there and you're on the fence, reach out to us, right? We're not going to sell you anything. We're just going to hear you out, see if there's something we can help with. We have several different levels for anybody in any circumstance to just get started. That's typically the hardest part from preventing anybody's greatness. Imagine Michael Jordan, if he shot a basketball and missed it the first time and said, basketball does not work. Don't be that person, right? Keep going and going and going. And when you meet your Tim Grover, like Michael Jordan met Tim Grover, then he won 6 championships. Allow us the opportunity to be your Tim Grover. All right. We want to make you successful. DM me if you need to, DM Cody if you need to, but that's what we're here for. The GSD is your new family. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being on here. Cody, I'll let you have the mic drop if you have anything to add at the end.
No, guys, just don't sit around, right? We're always at the starting line of a new section of our lives. And I think too many people sit around waiting for the track to be perfect before you run the race. It ends up making you watch everybody else cross the finish line while you sit around and wonder why. So hopefully this story has been inspiring to you guys, and you guys have taken some notes, and you're going to go and take some action. Drop your takeaways, please, and thank you below. And just give some love to Shan and Matt, because they showed up today and spent their time with you and told their story. I always appreciate everything when our students come by and tell people, so that they can, it's not just us telling you guys how awesome our own shit is. It's not about that. It's about people saying how they use the tools to find success. So at the very least, hopefully you guys can take some stuff from what they gave you today. And even if you're just in here to watch some of our free stuff that's all scattered through this group, you can go use some of that to find your own success in your own way. And when you're ready, DM us and we'll help you some more.
All right, let's see if we can get this in unison before we end the stream. I'm going to say, what time is it? Yeah, I think you guys know what the answer is, right? All right. Ready? All right, Shan, Matt, what time is it?
Is it GSD time, right?
It's time to get shit done.
Oh, okay, my bad.
It's time to get
This is
shit
live on the internet. Damn it. All right.
No, I knew
I
you
thought you
put us
guys
on
watched
spot.
enough
I'm like,
videos.
yeah.
I was hoping I would just like act like I had a delay on it. All right, hey, all right,
I know,
ready
I
this
saw
time.
that. I'm
Take two.
What time is it?
Time to get shit done.
Shit done.
Let's go. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.